Emily loved her new house. It was cozy, tucked away in a quiet corner of the countryside, surrounded by dense woods. Every night she would sit on her porch, enjoying the peace and quiet, listening to the sounds of the forest. But one evening, as she sat in her usual spot, she noticed something strange. Across the yard, just within the tree line, there was a figure. It was hard to make out in the darkness, but it was there, standing perfectly still, watching her. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. She tried to tell herself it was just a trick of the light, maybe a shadow cast by the trees. But every night after that, the figure returned, always in the same spot, always watching. She stopped going outside after dark, but even then she could feel its eyes on her, staring through the windows. She began to hear faint whispers at night, but when she strained to listen, they would fall silent. One night, after weeks of this torment, she decided she had to know what it was. Armed with a flashlight and a knife, she ventured into the woods, her breath coming in ragged gasps. The figure was there in the same spot, still watching her. As she approached, she realized it wasn't a person at all. It was a tall, twisted tree, its bark warped into the shape of a face, its gnarled branches resembling limbs. She laughed at her own foolishness. But as she turned to leave, the whispers grew louder. She spun around, and the tree was no longer a tree. It moved, shifting its shape into a tall, dark figure. Emily screamed and ran, but the woods around her seemed to close in, branches grabbing at her, roots tripping her. The whispers turned into a deafening roar. She never made it back to the house. The next morning, all that was found was her flashlight, lying at the edge of the woods, still on, pointed at the spot where the figure had stood. And now, at night, if you listen closely, you can hear whispers coming from the trees, as if they're sharing a secret, or waiting for someone new to listen.